Hello everyone. So today is National Book Day, and I thought I would do a little bit of a video on the differences between the different versions of a book on heraldry that I use quite a bit called Fairbairn's Book of Crests. I actually had somebody ask me a question yesterday, and I thought instead of, just answering a question in a long email, just do a video and publish it and see what happens. There's probably only 5 people in the whole world interested in this subject, but it's National Book Day, so let's talk about a book. So the book I'm going to talk about is called Fairbairn's Book of Crests. It's a book on heraldry. It's basically family crests, limited to usually England, Great Britain, Scotland, UK, Ireland, that kind of thing. It does breach into America a little bit. It does breach into Canada and Australia, of course, but for the most part, it's the United Kingdom and Ireland. So I have 5 copies of this book. 4 of them are different. So we'll go over each version, and hopefully that'll answer any questions anyone has between the different versions and what version they might need for the research they're doing or what have you. So I recently was able to pick up this. This is Volume 1, the text, and this is Volume 2, the plates. This is an 1860, was published in 1860. The title of this one is Fairbairn's Crests of the Families of Great Britain and Ireland, compiled from the best authorities by James Fairbairn and revised by Lawrence Butters, seal engraver in ordinary to the Queen for Scotland. Edited by Joseph McLaren. This is the first volume. Has a nice engraving in the front. Like I said, this is the 1860 copy. So the way Fairbairn's is organized in general is there's a book of crests, which is basically pictures, plates, and then there is an index of who those crests belong to. So in the text version, like this one, or the text volume, you'll have a last name, sometimes a place like a city or a county or what have you. You'll have a heraldic blazon or description of what the crest will look like, and then you'll have a plate number sometimes, hopefully, a plate number and a crest number. You use that as just like any reference book. You reference one to another and another and another. So this is the 1860 copy. Like I said, this is the text version. This is going to have all the indexes for all the different last names. Then you're going to have the section on mottos, so you can actually look up just the motto and then cross-reference it with a last name. And then there's also, in this one, some error corrections in the back, and a very, very small section on like heraldry terms and stuff, kind of a glossary. This is Volume 2, the plates. There's 144 plates in this copy. Each plate will have 15 different crests on it, and like I said, there are 144 plates. When you get towards the back, it starts getting into, like, this is plate 131. This is monograms. It goes into the really fancy monograms that are almost impossible to read. I think they're called ciphers. And then you get into other things. But for the most part, there's 144 plates in here. That was the 1860 issue of Fairbairn's Crests of Great Britain and Ireland. Quite rare to see an 1860 copy. This is the only copy I've ever seen for sale, and I grabbed it up quick. Interestingly, this copy, the 1860 copy, was pretty much completely reintroduced in 1986 into this. So this is the 1986 copy. just Fairbairn's Crests of the families of Great Britain and Ireland. James Fairbairn, revised by Lawrence Butters. As near as I can tell, the 1986 copy, which you can get for like $9 on Amazon with Prime shipping, is the exact same as the 1860 copy. I haven't been able to yet find any differences between the two. If there are minor things like error corrections and that kind of thing. Like I said, this is pretty cheap on Amazon. You can get a copy of this very, very easily. The crests are not in any sort of order, and the engravings aren't nearly as well done, obviously because they used completely different methods. This is more like engraved plates pressed, and this is, computer manufacture or whatever. But if you'll notice, there is no rhyme or reason to how the crests are organized. There is a reverse index in the 1860 copy and in the 1986 copy. So if you are willing to page through every single crest in the book to find the one you're looking for, you can do it that way and then reverse it and find the family name for that crest, which is what I generally do. If you're doing engraving or you're servicing a particular family as opposed to looking for a particular family, then a reverse index isn't going to do much for you. But for my purposes, which is all research, I need that reverse index. It does a lot of the work for me. The next version we'll talk about is kind of a one-off. It's the only copy I have ever seen. This is just Fairbairn's Crests, the American edition. If you can see, hopefully the camera will focus. This is an odd book. So let me get the official title. This one's a little bit stranger and longer. This title page says, Fairbairn's Crests of the leading families in Great Britain and Ireland and their kindred and other lands, compiled from the best authorities by James Fairbairn, revised by Lawrence Butters, seal engraver in ordinary to the Queen, edited by Joseph McLaren, 2 volumes in one. This one was published in New York in 1911. So I've got 1860, 1986, and this is 1911. This copy I bought just because I had never seen it before. There are 144 plates in these two, and there's only 137 in this one. This is not an American version. This is an American printing. So I believe that in the introduction to this particular volume, it talks about wanting to bring the art of heraldry over the ocean, bring more popularity to it. So that may have been why this book was even published, because the names in here are still English, Irish, Scottish. You've got, right here you've got Duffield Dawson of Yorkshire. You've got Dugmore of Norfolk. You've got Garden of Scotland. I mean, these are English names, English places, Scottish places, Irish places. This is not an American. This is not an American reference. It's an English reference or a UK reference or an Irish reference published in America for Americans, I guess. The engravings are a little bit interesting. Again, the printing is done completely different than the other two versions that I've shown you. There is no reverse reference in this. They took it out for some reason. This is 2 volumes in one. This is the index and the plates in one book. They've kind of taken 2 books and put them into one. It's still a massive volume. It's still a huge book. It looks great on a shelf. And it's more of a collector's oddity than really anything else. I have not found a crest in here that is any different than any of the other crests in the other books. Again, it only has 137 plates. So maybe there's less in this than in the other ones. I haven't found anything in this one that I haven't been able to find in the other ones yet. But again, it's a reference volume of 137 times 15. It take me a long time, may take me a lifetime to figure out the differences between the two. Those are three different versions. It's 1860, the 1986, and then the 1911 American edition. Comparatively, they're all kind of okay. Like, they're all useful text. They're all volumes that have use. However, the best version is this version. In my opinion, the best version is this version. This is the plates. This is Fairbairn's Book of Crests from 1905. So, the title page is Fairbairn's Book of Crests of the Families of Great Britain and Ireland, being a 4th edition, revised and enlarged in 2 volumes, and this is volume 2. You can kind of see title page. This book is organized a bit different. This is the plates. Okay? So, in this book, hopefully you guys can see. In this plate, so like, let's go to plate 1. Alright, so here's plate 1. Every plate on this page is a lion. Okay? And then you go to plate number 2, and again, all lions. Okay? This continues throughout the book. Plate 10, all lions. Plate 17, all lions. Plate 26, now we're into tigers. 31, now we're into wolves. Plate 39, now we're into lion's gams, which are the lion's paws. Now we're into cattle, unicorns and horses, dogs, greyhounds. Now we're into griffins, heraldry tigers, eagles. Those are cockerels or roosters. There's some partridges down there, more cocks, more roosters. You got, just wings and objects between wings. Got deer, stags, goats. Some really neat goats in there. You've got insects. There's a really cool grasshopper on this page. But the point is that in the 1905 version, all of the crests are organized by subject. The first plates 1 through 224 are all in their own categories. So lions, tigers, bears, etc. They're all in different sections. When you get to plate 225, remember, these versions only had 144 plates or 137 plates. This version, the 1905 version, has 314 plates. So almost double, and the same number per page, sometimes more. So when you get to plate 225, things get out of order again. Okay? So like, this is plate 277, and you can see you have birds, you've got goats, you've got bat wings, you've got a honey badger down here, lots of different chaos. And the reason that is because I think that those last 224 through 314, those were added after the fact. Those are after they had compiled the book, or their additions from the previous versions. Again, they're fully notated, they're fully in the book, but they are in a different section. So sometimes if I'll be looking for a certain crest, I'll go through the bear section, and if I can't find the bear I'm looking for, I'll go to the back and I'll actually find it. I have found that the section in the back, the kind of addendum crests section in the back, seems to be more unique crests. So instead of a list of like 3 or 5 family names, I'll get one family name for the crest in the back. This is the version you will find. This is again the 1905 version. This is volume, or the text volume. This is the version most often used by engravers, by people doing seal work or engraving on silver, that kind of thing. I know that my friends over at Rebus Signet Rings uses this in their shop. They feature it pretty prominently, but excellent. It's an excellent work. This will have the motto index. This will have the standard family names. It will have a reverse index, which is really important. Like, it'll have the individual plate number, and then it'll have the crest number on that plate. Best thing about this version is that not only is it the most complete, even from the more modern versions, it is the most complete, the most concise, and it has been fully digitized by Google. So Google decided to fully digitize it. It's in PDF format, which means it can be searched completely, cover to cover, keyword search, multiple word search, Boolean search, all that stuff, which is awesome. And I will link below in the description the link to those two places. So if you're doing seal work, you are doing research, you don't have to go buy this book. It's nice to have on a shelf, and it's an excellent book. It is big, it is heavy, it looks great on a shelf, but sometimes it can be difficult to find. It's pretty normal to find it in the $200 to $225 range as far as US dollars, plus shipping. They usually come from the UK, so there's a lot of shipping in there. I mean, you're looking at two large, heavy books. These are about, I'd say, 7 pounds between the two of them, 5 to 7 pounds maybe. But I have seen them a lot cheaper. All of my copies I got for under $100 plus like $30 or $40 for shipping. So if you wait, if you're patient, you can get a copy at a reasonable price. You don't have to pay that $225. There are people who are out for $1 and they will buy, you'll find just the text for sale, but they have divided up the pair and they are piecing out the plates one by one and selling them. I've seen individual pages for sale on Etsy for like $20 a piece, which is just completely ludicrous. Let's destroy a whole reference volume for, anyway, drive me nuts. So anyway, completely digitized by Google, which is awesome. There's 314 different plates, usually about 15 crests per plate, so you do the math, that's a lot of freaking individual crests. So if you're doing work in heraldry, you're doing research in heraldry, the 1905 version really is the best version. You can get by with the other ones, and there's good information in all of them, but the 1905 version by far has the most information. I actually have 2 copies of it, and I have downloaded the digital versions that I think are open source. I don't know. Google has put them out, so hopefully there's no copyright. And that may have been why this New Orchard Press did the old version instead of this one, because this was done in '86. So the copyright on this on the 1905 version may not have expired yet. I don't know. But so for anyone interested, that's the long and short of it. Every version that I have seen has pretty much been the same, whether it's the 1860 version, whether it's the 1986 version. There's an even newer one, the 1991 version, I think. It's got a white cover like this. I couldn't tell the difference between the 91 version and this one. Just different colors. Those are all the same. The only version that's different is this one. And this one is more complete, has more information, is easier to search, and all around is better to use than any of the other copies. The American version is more of a curiosity. There may be some extra information in here. I haven't been able to find any yet that isn't in the other ones. Maybe I should, pick it apart and see if I can find an unusual crest in here that isn't in one of the other ones. But, we'll see. But that's the long and short of it. Today is National Book Day, so we talked about a book. Hopefully somebody out there, the 5 people that'll watch this video past the first 20 seconds will maybe enjoy this video. But that's the differences between the different versions of Fairbairn's Book of Crests. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully I haven't talked too fast. I have a habit of yammering. when it comes to heraldry. So hope everyone is doing well. Happy World Book Day, and everyone should go out and read Animal Farm since China just banned it. Hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.